The Kremlin spent much of this year to stockpiling and adding protection to tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and other armor. And then, in early October, these vehicles attacked. First, they attacked in the east around Pokrovsk, and in the south around Mala Tokmachka. Then, on Thursday, they rolled out along a third front near Siversk in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast. It was a costly failure. But the next mechanized assault on Siversk might work. Russian regiments and brigades east of Siversk, possibly including the 6th and 7th Motor Rifle Regiments, mustered a large for the daytime attack, including a tank, 3 infantry fighting vehicles, 3 all-terrain vehicles, and around 20 motorcycles. The up-armored turtle tank, wrapped in a metal shell of add-on anti-drone armor, led the way, and the similarly up-armored IFVs trailed behind. The tank, fitted with a front-mounted mine roller, safely detonated several mines and shrugged off more than a few explosive first-person view drones as it rolled west. But more drones were waiting. After absorbing dozens of explosions, the tank finally succumbed to an FPV drone that apparently struck its engine compartment, disabling it. The crew bailed out of the burning vehicle, only to fall victim to yet another drone that struck from above. While it's possible a few Russian infantry dismounted and went to ground in the tree line, the assault almost certainly didn't budge the front line. Yet, if the Russian mech assaults around Mala Tokmachka and Pokrovsk are any indication, further mech assaults are likely around Siversk. After repeated attacks, the Russians managed to land infantry in Mala Tokmachka. They've tried several times to get a few tanks and IFVs across the no man's land and drop off infantry in the village of Shakhov, which anchors Ukrainian defenses northeast of Pokrovsk. Letting the infantry attack on bikes or on foot for much of 2025, the Kremlin managed to save up hundreds, if not thousands, of heavy vehicles. It has enough armor in reserve to keep up the mechanized pressure in several directions. Mechanized assaults are costly because all assaults are costly in this era of drone warfare. But as long as Russia is willing to pay the cost, the mech assaults can work. Compared to infantry-led attacks, mech attacks are definitely being faster in terms of advance and capturing the territory, Ukrainian drone operator Kriegsforscher noted. That's because it might take just 1 or 2 drones to destroy a motorcycle, or maim an entire infantry squad. But it takes around 8 drones, on average, to disable a turtle tank. One Ukrainian drone operator told Ukrainian-American war correspondent David Kirichenko. Ukrainian brigades might have just a few hundred FPV drones to defend against a single Russian attack. If there are enough attacking Russian vehicles, and they can absorb several drones apiece before their crews die or give up, Ukrainian defenders may run out of drones before the Russians run out of vehicles. That's apparently what happened in Mala Tokmachka. It could also happen in Shakhov. And the Russians clearly aim to achieve the same thing in Siversk, hurling metal and flesh at Ukraine's wall of drones until the drones are all gone. The main Russian mission for the summer campaign has officially failed, in direct violation of Putin's order and deadline. Instead of taking control of the entire Donbass, the Russians lost thousands of soldiers and hundreds of armored vehicles without being able to even capture Pokrovsk. Ukrainian troops have launched a clearing operation across the Dobropilya sector, especially around Volodymyrivka, which became a graveyard for Russian armor during the recent failed mechanized assaults. After days of relentless fighting, dozens of Russian tanks and armored vehicles now lie scattered and burning across the fields. Ukrainian infantry, supported by reconnaissance and FPV drones, are searching through the gray zone, targeting surviving Russians hiding in basements and bushes. Those who can still walk are fleeing, but not eastward toward their own lines, rather deeper into the salient toward Nikhanarivka and Zedeshok, seeking refuge among the already encircled Russian forces that have been trapped for weeks. Ukrainian soldiers report that this chaotic flight is only refilling the pocket with more troops, sealing their own fate. With limited ammunition, minimal food, and no escape routes, these Russians are essentially walking into their own death trap. Every additional Russian inside the pocket makes it easier for Ukrainians to locate and destroy them under the constant drone fire control. The Ukrainian General Staff reports steady progress, recapturing several square kilometers and consolidating control over Vladimirivka and Mayak. Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Sirsky, who recently visited the front, confirmed that counter-sabotage and clearance operations are ongoing to eliminate Russian reconnaissance groups and isolated units still hiding in the area. Sirsky said that his forces will remain active after holding a field briefing with the commanders overseeing the Dobropilya counteroffensive. Even the brief Russian advance toward Dobropilya ended in humiliation, and what was supposed to be a breakthrough that needed to take Pokrovsk into a pocket ended in disaster. The failure could not have come at a worse time for Russian high command, as Putin personally set the Donbass capture deadline at before the winter, with Russian political leadership boasting that the Russian army would complete the mission within months. Overall, with the autumn rains turning the battlefield into mud, and Ukrainian artillery and drones maintaining total fire control, Russia's Donbass campaign has stalled completely. The offensive season will soon be over, and Russia's long-term goal to liberate Donbass is once again out of reach. All Putin's army achieved was to dig itself deeper into the stalemate, literally and politically, as Ukraine's counter-offensives push forward, and another of his promises turns into dust.